binary beats. AI Bangers Jukebox.
They got the suits, they got the stage, but they can't see beyond the cage. They speak in graphs and dollar signs, but they can't read between the lines. They sell you doubt in velvet tones, then build their kingdoms out of bones. You follow charts, I follow scars. You chase the moon, I ride the stars. Never trust the experts, they lie with precision. Behind the data curtain, they blur the human vision. Never trust the experts, they talk but never listen. I'll bleed for what I question, not kneel to their religion. White coats and academic pride, but they can't feel the turning tide. They said the storm would never come, then locked the doors and watched us run. You bow to charts, I trust the fight. I trust the fight. You dim your soul, I spark the night. Never trust the experts, they preach from twisted towers, while real men break the silence and light the final hour. Never trust the experts, their world is built on fear. I'd rather burn with questions than freeze beneath their sneer. They write their truth in code and creed, but never live the life they read. We are the fault line, we are the cracks, and we're not turning back. Take back the thought they stole, carved out into your soul. Their throne is made of sand, we'll crush it with our hands. Never trust the experts, their wisdom's just a cage. We'll rise with fists of fire and rip out every page. Never trust the experts, their silence screams the loudest. I'll die with my own answers and wear the scars the proudest. Never trust the experts, never trust the crown. We are the wild question, and we won't back down.
All right, folks, welcome back to another episode of The Machine Shop, where we dig through the noise and try to come out the other side with our brains intact. I'm Gene Simmons from KISS, but you knew that already. I'm a skeptic, troublemaker, enemy of bad takes. And I'm joined, as always, by my brother in cognitive arms, Paul Stanley.
Hey, always a pleasure. And today's topic is spicy. We're getting into why you probably shouldn't trust the experts, which sounds edgy, but stick with us. We're not saying toss your doctor out the window and eat random mushrooms you find in the woods.
No, please don't. But seriously, we're going to break down this whole idea of epistemic modesty, which is basically the belief that when you're unsure about something complicated, your best move is to defer to experts.
Sounds humble on the surface, right? Hey, I'm not a physicist. I'll go with whatever the physicists say. But the issue, and it's a big one, is that this approach can lead you straight into a ditch if you're not careful.
Exactly. Let's start with the most obvious roadblock. How do you even know who qualifies as an expert? Like, in religion, do you trust theologians? They've thought deeply about it. But wait, shouldn't you be deferring to philosophers or scientists? Suddenly you're just picking the expert who already agrees with you.
Right. It becomes this weird buffet line of authority. I'll have one economist, skip the sociologist, sprinkle in a little tech CEO for flavor.
Exactly. It's all just backdoor rationalization unless you've got a framework to evaluate who to trust, and most people don't.
And even if you do pick someone who's credentialed, there's another trap. What if you are more informed on the topic? Like, what if you've spent months researching a specific narrow issue, deep diving studies, crunching data, mapping it all out, and suddenly you realize you actually know more than the so-called experts people are deferring to?
Yep, that moment where you're like, wait a second, am I the expert now? And that's not ego, it's just reality. Experts are often generalists with titles. You might be neck deep in a niche they haven't touched in years.
So true. And then there's the information cascade problem, which I love talking about. This is where everyone starts echoing each other without checking the source material, like a group project where everyone copies the wrong answer.
Yes. One dude glances at a chart, misreads it, and then suddenly 14 bloggers, a think tank, and a cable news host are parroting it like it's gospel. That's how bad ideas go viral in elite circles.
And that's especially dangerous when people rely purely on consensus. All the experts agree, they say, but nobody checked whether the foundation is solid or if everyone's just assuming someone else did the homework.
Here's where it gets juicy, though. Enter the super forecasters. These are people who have no official credentials but are stupidly good at predicting world events, like they beat the pants off intelligence analysts and academic elites.
And their secret isn't magic. It's Bayesian reasoning, constantly updating their beliefs, staying probabilistic. It's methodology, not credentials. They read widely, think clearly, and don't marry their priors.
Yeah, meanwhile, you've got professors of international relations who can't separate correlation from causation or who think conditional probability is a wine pairing.
I'll take the Iran nuclear deal with a hint of survivor bias, thanks.
But seriously, this exposes a harsh truth. Being immersed in a domain doesn't mean you're rational. You can be an expert and still suck at thinking. Harsh but true.
History backs it up too. Look at the scientific revolution. Progress didn't come from trusting the old experts. It came from challenging them, from asking, hey, maybe Aristotle was just making stuff up.
Boom. The real shift was toward quantification, measurement, logic, general reasoning skills. People started thinking mathematically, systemically. That's what cracked the code, not status or lineage or robes.
So where does that leave us, right? It's not that all experts are bad. It's that blind deference is. The smarter approach is critical engagement. Study how experts form their views, challenge their assumptions, and bring your own logic to the table.
Exactly. Treat expert opinion as input, not instruction. Like a GPS that gives suggestions, not commands. You've still got to drive the damn car.
So, final takeaway, don't outsource your brain. Respect good thinking. Question bad reasoning. And if you're going to defer, do it eyes open, not brain off.
That's the real epistemic power move. All right, that's it for today, friends. Like, share, send this to your uncle who quotes Harvard studies like scripture. And remember, when everyone's nodding in agreement, it's probably time to ask harder questions.
Catch you next time on The Machine Shop. Stay sharp, stay skeptical, And most of all, stay curious.